Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Alexis. I am a disabled powerlifter from Pennsylvania and an exclusive athlete with Buffbunny Collection. Today, I will be presenting to y'all the summer sale, newer pieces slash returning pieces that have some fit updates, and it is pretty much centered around seamless fabric. There's a wide variety of colors for this summer sales little launch, and I am excited to see kind of a bigger variety of seamless, like Lexi's little cheat sheet of fit updates, because I just feel like it's important for everybody to know what the fit updates are right off the bat instead of watching the whole video. I just feel like it's easier for y'all. So I'm going to put a little cheat sheet up here on all of the items that are returning, anything that I think is a fit update and that you should know right off the bat. For these summer sales, Buffbunny Collection has launches throughout the year, right? So how the sale percentages typically work is that 10% is pretty much off of all of the new items. As you work your way backwards throughout the year, the percentages get higher and higher and higher as you work backwards. There are some spotlight deals that I want to highlight here. Definitely stay in the know by being in the broadcast channel. If you have not already, please head over to the Buffbunny Collection Instagram page and join their Buffbunny Collection broadcast channel. It's called the BB Girls group chat, where the team members and the CEO Heidi have a lot of fun spilling beans, giving little hints about upcoming collections and fun giveaways and polls. So the team will receive all of your feedback from the polls and comments in that chat, as well as me. Please head over there for all things current Buffbunny Collection. And if you are not one of the VIP members, you can head over to the broadcast channel. Pretty much every collection since January has had early access, and it's always posted in that group chat. So head over there and have some fun with us in the community if you have not already. As always, my updated measurements are in the description box below, and I do have timestamps. That way y'all can skip around to like your most desired items. Without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we have the Shape Seamless tank top, a little bit more dense compared to Shape Seamless that we've seen in the past. The length on an extra small is 16.5 inches, form-fitting shoulder fit. Straight across bottom hemline, a wide racerback design, large armhole openings. There is no built-in bra shelf or anything. It's just a plain, simple tank top, and it has these very subtle princess contour lines, and that contouring has like ribbed, woven, seamless design, which are going to give you a little bit more of a snatched look. So slightly the smallest little bit of flare, but I'm pretty sure this is just going to fit pretty straight fit. In the back, there's also that princess contouring as well, and it's a pretty simple design. It's singly layered all throughout. On Buffbunny emblem edging is literally the seamless fabric folded onto itself and then sewn together. Stitching is nice quality. Simple design tank top that we saw in one of the essentials drops, which it does look and fit quite a bit differently, but I just wanted to show y'all really quick the difference. The arm opening for this is quite a bit larger, and then on the back quite a bit smaller of a racer back. The new seamless one is a tad bit longer. General measurements, the bottom width is coming in at about 13.5 inches, very middle of the waist, a little under 12.5 inches. Largest part of the bust is going to be a little over 13 inches. Bust across the chest would be a little bit around 10 inches. Front rise height is about 15 inches. The strap width is about 1.5 inches wide. And then the total back rise height is about 17.5 inches. So the tank top is pretty simple, very form-fitting, super stretchy in all directions. It does fit pretty comfortably. It doesn't dig into my lats. I'm wearing the Elysium sports bra underneath it, which does actually work very well for wide frames. Fits fine in the back. I'm not feeling any tension from the lining of the arm openings. The bottom band does roll up a little bit, but I think that's because the seamless fabric is kind of stretched out and is more susceptible to do that. So this is hitting me about hip length, and I have a longer torso. I think that's also because the fabric is so stretchy. This is going to be true to size or size up if you don't want it to be as clingy. Overall, I'm going to have to rank this a solid 10 out of 10 because it's exactly as described. And I mean, I kind of expected a tiny bit of rolling from the seamless fabric, but it's a pretty simple tank top. There's really not a whole lot to report on. Not itchy, comfortable, soft. Highly recommend this one. And we don't get too many form-fitting high neck tops for the first time we're seeing it in seamless. So if you are interested, definitely get your hands on it. Next up, we have the return of the beautiful Karma crop top. It was made out of New Brave fabric, so this is a light to medium compression and support fabric, 4-way stretch, buttery soft feel, brushed, very, very nice. It has a sweet hard neckline, a little scrunch front design, built-in bra shelf with bust pads that are removable from the inside slits. There is princess contouring, which will help you look a little bit more snatched, and then it has these almost like a halter top straps that go into like a mini racer back, I guess. Loop there where an elastic band is threaded through, and that creates or helps create part of the crossover back design. So in the back there is some princess contouring as well. There is quite a wide like U-shape opening, and then separate elastic bands that are sewn into the sides that cross over, just to give this a little oomph to the design. As you can tell, this is a little bit more fit and flare compared to the original. The built-in bra shelf, there is that scrunch detail in the front, but there is all the way down a cup pad separator. That way the bust pads don't move around too much. These pads are removable from the top. Throughout the entire like bra shelf has a back portion to it, and throughout it, it has this brushed elastic band that is thin, medium amount of stretch to it. Stitch quality is really good. And then on the other side, there is this mesh stretchy material. Feels a little bit more dense compared to exposed mesh, but that's just going to help this become a little bit more breathable. All right, so I can't really compare the sizes of the original Karma crop top to the new one very well, because this is a size medium, and large, but we can see from the silhouette that the original was straight across on the bottom. This newer one has a little bit more of like a curved bottom hemline. The original has more of a straight or tapered in fit. The newer one has more of a fit and flare fit. The newer one is also slightly longer to accommodate for that fit and flare. Other than that, off camera, I kind of measured, you know, the scrunch together, the width of the straps, the back opening, everything. Everything is actually pretty similar, but again, I can't give you a true side-by-side comparison for sizing between these two because size medium, size large. But on the back, the only thing that I wanted to kind of point out is that the back opening does seem to be exactly the same for both of these sizes. It's the strap like feeling, stretchiness feels the same. Again, I can't really measure the length of the strap on both of them and say if one is bigger than the other because they're two different sizes, so it's not really a true comparison. And for general measurements, the smallest point of the waist for this is about 14 inches. Total front rise height is about 11.5 inches. The smallest point of the straps is under 1 inch. Back rise height is about 6 inches. Remember that the original Karma crop top that I have is a size medium, so it is going to look and feel a lot different compared to the updated version, but I still want to show y'all the side-by-side version. That way you can get the best idea of like generally how it fits different. This one is more of a fit and flare design. These are the mid-rise seamless. We'll go over those in a little bit, but yeah, that's why this doesn't look like the most flattering. Overall, it's fitting pretty much the same as it did before, and because I did review it before, I'm going to put the information of where I reviewed it, all the details on the side, and I'm just going to tell y'all that I would stay true to size for this. I would not recommend sizing up. Overall, I'm going to have to give the new Karma crop top a solid 9.5 out of 10. I actually really love it. I'm glad that it came back. The only thing that I'm not crazy about is the fit and flare. It's just not what I was expecting, but I really love this. I highly recommend it to y'all. I feel like all of the tank tops with built-in bra shelves are so versatile. Like you can not only wear this for working out, but you can pair this with a cute pair of like jean shorts for the summer. You could wear this to the office with nice dress pants and like a shell kind of jacket or sweater over it. So I really love the Karma crop top and the Posh Knit tank tops as well. So I would highly recommend to get this. Seamless bodysuit. This is made of shape seamless fabric, so now it is feeling a little bit more towards the medium compression and support level. It is feeling a little bit more dense. This is pretty similar to the full length pant like bodysuit that we saw from the Juicy collection. There is a scrunch front design. Torso through the top is double layered. However, the way that it's woven in the midsection, doubly thick ribbed fabric, but then up here is more smooth matte, and there's like the 2 layers of it that create the bra shelf line with removable bust pads that you can take out from the slits on the inside. Have a sweetheart neckline, straps that go into their U-shaped opening, embossed like Buffbunny Collection emblem that's dyed a little bit lighter, and so the bra shelf looks like it goes all throughout the top portion of this. From the inside, slits on the side to remove it, and again, it is doubly lined, and so the ribbed material is also doubly lined. Definitely 2 pieces of ribbed fabric as well. I'm gonna snatch you in. Deep V front waistband because that's gonna give you lower tummy control, and that also will smooth out bra lines or anything like that. Super deep V above the glute, single stitch contouring, like the shorts portion. It's a diamond shaped crotch gusset with a stitch seam. This is all shape seamless fabric, but it's woven in so many different patterns and ways. So that same kind of ribbed design from the midsection goes down and gives you some side and under the glute contour. Micro rib design that also runs along underneath the glutes. That is a double panel. And what's nice about this having two panels is that when you stretch out one part and put it on, it's going to be susceptible to like scrunch up, roll up. But because you have two layers of it, so a larger surface, it's not going to scrunch up like a rubber band when you put it on. So I think this is going to sit underneath the glutes just like the Miracle Seamless that we've seen before. There's an elastic in the glute rise. Go over your stitching once you're done, but to go this far up and have it that visible, for someone like who used to sew and make clothes, that kind of like stitch error is just not like the most polished. Elastic in the glute rise stitch seam is a thin elastic. It isn't anything too aggressive. It's just gonna sit nicely and kind of like give you a little bit more shaping to your glutes. For comparisons, I have the Juicy Collection full length pant bodysuit. See, these are both a size large, and the fabric composition is 50% nylon, 40% polyester, 8% spandex, and 55% nylon, 35% polyester, 10% spandex. So this has changed a little bit. This does feel a little bit thinner and stretchier. This is feeling just a little bit more dense, and it is a lighter color. So I love seeing a more dense seamless fabric. Okay, get like a snag and run almost as if it's like pantyhose. But seamless bodysuit from Juicy Collection, there was no under the glute contouring, whereas this one does and will really just give your butt a little bit of a lift. The scrunch in the center is quite a bit less wide. So this is a little over an inch wide, and then this one is about half an inch wide. And then that bra shelf line is just a tad bit shorter in height, and the bra shelf coverage is just a tiny bit bigger for the original compared to the newer one. The straps on the newer one are just a tad bit wider. Original is just a little bit higher in rise for that back like coverage. Waist snatching paneling, so deep V front all the way to the top. We're looking at about an 1.5 inch decrease in torso length. Back waist panel from the deep V glute contour all the way to the top. We are looking at about an inch decrease in this height. These are definitely different in height as well by about an 1.25 inches. Point out that the originals had no elastic. It was just a simple stitch seam for the glute rise. But the matching up the crotch gusset, the newer one is significantly shorter compared to the other one by about 1.5 inches. General measurements, the bottom of the bra shelf line is going to come in around 13 inches. Across the bust, roughly 14.5 inches. This part of the strap, about 1.5 inch. The intersection of the front and back strap, about 1.25 inches. For the bra shelf line, we're looking at about 3 inches height. Back rise height is a little under 3 inches. Waist panel is coming in at about 7.5 inches rough back. It is coming in at about 8.5 inches. The front rise height for like the shorts portion all the way down to the crotch gusset is about 4 3/4. Glute rise is coming in at about 3.5 inches. So for the top portion, overall this is fitting a lot more snug compared to the full length bodysuit that we saw back from like the Juicy Collection. Definitely stretchy in all directions. For the bust, it's going to be very light compression and support. There is no like thick elastic band except for this double like panel that starts here. That's really acting as the thing that's going to give you a little bit of support. I have barely any gaping. The strap length is actually just fine or slightly tight, possibly because I have a longer torso and I'm getting like pull because my long torso and the fabric is stretching out a little bit. The lap coverage is exceptional. It covers all the way up until under my armpit. I'm not feeling any tension because that shape seamless fabric is pretty stretchy, and it's the mat up here. Very comfortable. I'm not feeling any tension on my back. I think it fits and tucks the lats perfectly. Because I am taller, like a longer torso person, trying to fit this underbust panel right underneath my bust, that is pulling this up. So the deep V front is right at my belly button, and I feel like if you were shorter, it would be more down here, which would give you more lower belly control. But anyways, on the sides, I think it really snatches me in and gives me that hourglass shape. Good amount of compression on the back, but you don't really notice the back compression. Updated shape seamless is a little bit more dense than it was before, or at least it's feeling like it to me. Underbelly control is maybe a little bit better. So I'm not having too much of the bulge of my lower belly out. So I appreciate that. However, because this is singly lined seamless like fabric, it does have the susceptibility to like roll up into my crevices. Looks and fits just like the Miracle Seamless shorts that we saw from the Juicy collection or the Strong AF collection. So these are pretty thick thigh friendly. And in the back, obviously these are like pretty sheer. The glute rise does have an elastic band that just like situates between the cheeks. Even with my printed granny panties on, these are still pronouncing and shaping my glutes pretty well. I'm not crazy about the glute rise being shortened. Again, I have a long bottom, so where this deep V is hitting down here, I think really should be up here on my body type. And then the above the glute contouring, really the panel for the back, it is hitting in the right place simply because I keep having to pull this up because I'm a longer torso girl. Definitely stay true to size. I would not size up because you would lose a lot of compression in the lower belly and in your bust, and I would not size down because if you do, I feel like that waist is just going to be way too tight. So definitely stay true to size. Overall, I'm going to have to rank this a solid 9 out of 10. Really, I actually am impressed with it. I am glad with this construction. I think, you know, the minor changes have really made this a lot more form-fitting and not as like loosey-goosey as the like long pant version. The only two things I'm not crazy about is the stitch quality. It wasn't very polished with that glute rise stitch seam. Then number two, just the short glute rise. So I would actually highly recommend this seamless bodysuit more for lighter activities. I'm not sure how the elastic will hold up, especially like if I'm squatting and if I have damn near 300 pounds on my back. My worst fear is that an elastic in the glute rise or like some stitch seams are going to pop, you know? So I would say this is more intended for like lighter weight exercises. It is in the strength pillar, so you could do strength exercises. Deep squat, I don't know, but I will definitely be wear testing this and then giving little mini reports either in my stories or on my Instagram reels. I think it's super cute, fun for summer, and it does fit pretty great overall. I just wish that it was coming in a little bit of a longer length for, you know, my body type. Next up, we have the return of the Vida Seamless Sports Bra embossed Buffbunny Collection emblem. So it's literally woven in there. The original did have the Buffbunny Collection emblem at the bottom. Because I have reviewed this extensively before, the original came out in the Vida collection, Teresa Hurtado's collaboration collection. These are both a size large. They are both the same lat coverage or side rise height, the same front rise height. The length of the midline is definitely within a ½ inch. It looks like the contouring in the center of the bust is also like the same width. Panel, so this is measuring in at 1 inch, and this is measuring in at 1.5 inches. So this panel is just a little bit bigger, and then the middle of the strap, 1.5 inches. This is a little under 1.5 inches. And then for the cup width is about 5.5 inches, a little over 5.5 inches. So on this one, it's just a tiny bit wider compared to this cup width, just from the contouring to the center, the contouring to the center. Band is coming in about 1.5 inches. On this one, it's coming in about 1.5 inches. Strap width is about 4.5 inches. This back strap width is about 4.5 inches. So those are about the same, about 2.5 inches. The new one, about 2.5 inches as well. So to me, other than the fabric feeling a little bit more dense and compressive, like a true medium compression and support sports bra, this doesn't feel any different compared to the original that we saw from the Vida collection. So because I have reviewed that in detail in a different video, I'm going to put additional info on the bra here and just tell you that this is fitting just a tiny bit more snug. This is true to size. I personally would not recommend sizing up or down because this does have a decent amount of stretch to it, but if you size down, that back band could be stretched out and become a little bit uncomfortable. So overall, I'm going to have to rank this a solid 9.5 out of 10. The only two things I'm still not crazy about for this bra is that I wish the strap length was just a little bit shorter, just to give me a little bit. I'm just not the biggest fan of seamless, and I feel like that ribbed material at the bottom, when I wore the original for workouts, I would kind of like itch or notice it at the bottom of my bust. So I wish that you know, maybe the inside was matte seamless material and not like the ribbed, because then I wouldn't dig into my skin and kind of engrave it, if that makes any sense. But overall, love this bra. Highly recommend it for really the only fuller coverage, like lat tucking, more all over body inclusive seamless sports bras, because the other seamless sports bras that are restocking in the summer sale are pretty dainty and tiny. So I'm happy to see a more full coverage seamless sports bra come back. Show y'all really quick the comparisons between the mid-rise Miracle Seamless shorts and the original. If I line up the waistbands, yeah, the original was a little bit wider. So if I line up the glute stitch seams, shorter in length compared to the original. The stitch pattern is a little bit wider compared to the original, has more tension compared to this one. Bottom of the back waistband, like deep V glute contour all the way to the top. The mid-rise is of course shorter. Miracle is mismatched rib woven kind of line that goes across. That's because it had the extra fabric added onto it. This one does not have that line that goes straight across. Crotch gusset all the way to the bottom of the waistband. The newer one is about the same rise height, but the waistband is of course a different rise height. Fabric this round is more dense and compressive compared to the original. The older Miracle bottoms were about an inch total in diameter bigger in the pant leg opening compared to the newer ones. Between the bodysuit and the shorts, the bodysuit does have probably 2 inches diameter more room. So the bodysuit is going to fit a lot more like the Miracle Seamless bottoms. Okay, so I do want to point something very, very important out when it comes to the Miracle Seamless shorts. I know there has been some buzz and some information and stuff going around on how things change. We have had the 7-inch ultra high-rise Miracle Seamless shorts from Juicy Collection, Strong AF Collection. The big booty girls, the long torso or tall girls, we've already had our moment. So this is really Buffbunny Collection's way of catering to the more petite gals and having more of the mid-rise Miracle Seamless bottoms. I tried to tell somebody who was having a hard time understanding, we are sexy, curvilicious, juicy, big booty girls, okay? And we're trying to fit into an item that wasn't really intended for our body types. It was intended to now cover the more petite girls who really did not have their moment when these first launched. So I really have to point that out. I'm only trying these on for y'all, so that way if another girl comes along and has my body type, they can see how these look on me and maybe get the idea or better understanding that like, hey, it didn't look so great on Lexi. Maybe it's not intended for my body type, but that's okay. Like there's other stuff in this collection that will work. Wait till you see the bodysuit on me. I think that's going to be for everybody. With these thick thighs does not mean it's going to be 4 inches of coverage underneath the booty, okay? Stitch seam stops here instead of up here. And then the above the glute contouring cuts into my butt. Like, yeah, you know what I mean. Next up is something that will not be launching in the summer collection, but did launch in the previous Hot Girl Summer collection. Invisible Hip Rise Thong. So I did want to review these, and I thought that these do deserve a spot on my like YouTube review, but in case any of y'all are looking to purchase any that are still in stock during the summer sale, I still wanted y'all to have kind of my mini review. So the biggest thing is that this is a hip rise, so a nylon spandex blend, and I'm going to tell y'all that this is more of a slight stretch, slinky material, very silky. I feel like these are going to be very comfortable on. Bonded edges, and bonded means that the fabric was folded in half and onto itself, and there was an adhesive added in here to hold the 2 layers together. Like stretchy with the fabric. There's some minor stitching on the sides that really just hold the 2 panels, thong part and then whole front part together, and it's very minor, so this is considered more of like a seamless thong. We do have a larger above the glute panel, if you will, and then it tapers down into the thong portion. And then on the inside there is a cotton feminine panel that stops about midway up the thong. The Poshnett straight leg pants. I am wearing my printed granny panty style like bikini seamless underwear underneath it, and definitely you can see there, even if I move it down, they have a tendency to like roll and whatnot. I'm gonna have to rank them a 8 out of 10. I think number 1, they run too small. Number 2, I wish that did size up, so these are not true to size. I feel like if I sized up to an XXL, maybe that would be better and it wouldn't cut into me as much. I wish that the thong portion was maybe not as wide. It's a little bit more intrusive than I would have liked. For the juicier girls, would not recommend them unless you size up 2 sizes. Having something that goes up maybe to here would help, and then not having bonded edges, just like a laser cut, may have worked a little bit better for these. Okay, so if these are still in stock, I just wanted y'all to know this. So yeah, just wanted to report these. Honorary Mentions, the Power Seamless and the Shade Seamless tops and bottoms, they were not available for PR. So I will be shopping for those on launch day, and I will be reporting back to y'all probably in my stories. I still wanted to lend just some general information looking at the image. So a square neckline, and it is considered a line sports bra because that added 1-inch bottom portion underneath the bust, the ribbed woven design, and that is in the vertical direction, which kind of acts as an elastic bottom band, if you will, to give your under bust just a little bit of support. Straps that are adjustable from the back side, a thinner eraser back design, and this entire bra looks like it's probably doubly lined with the seamless fabric, and then the seamless fabric is added onto the edges and stitched. Difficult to tell from the picture whether or not this is a U-shaped neckline or a sweetheart neckline. At any rate, this is midline with ribbed, woven, shade, seamless fabric at the bottom of the bust that gives you a little bit of support. It looks like there is some shading, coloration that creates a little bit of contour on the sides, and the under portion of the bust on the back, a little bit of that shading contour color that allows for contouring for the backside. This looks like the entire bra is woven in a way where it's doubly lined and has seamless edges. It's where it's not a thin band of fabric that's added along the edges and stitched onto it. It does look like low coverage on the lats, and there is a little bit of tension, so I'm wondering if people should size up in this. The shade seamless fabric is a tiny bit lighter and stretchier, probably comparable to the original shade seamless because now it is a little bit more dense and compressive. Waist contouring, probably the shade, contrast coloring added in there. There is no under the glute contouring like we had in the Miracle seamless design. This does have quite a pronounced above the glute contouring, and it looks as though there might be, I don't want to say a scrunch, but some kind of glute scrunch or something because it is stretched out on the center glute rise. For my top picks, I will have to say the Miracle Seamless Bodysuit. Even though it's a little bit shorter in the torso than I would like, overall, I think it does fit and flatter me very well. And I think this will be inclusive for a lot of different body types. Thank y'all so much for all of your support. I really do appreciate it. It has helped me stay on with the brand. If you want to support me, you can leave a like, comment, share on this review video. Head over to Instagram, give me a follow. If you want to go the extra mile, if you are able, you can use my athlete code Lexi, Lexi, at checkout on any of your Buffbunny Collection purchases to save 10%, and that goes to me as commission, but it also allows the brand to know that my support is growing and it's still there, so I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. I truly appreciate all of y'all's support. I hope that you get all of the summer sale items that you want, especially saving that money, and I will see you next time.